Welcome to High Tech Knowledge. It is great to see you again. I know it has been a couple of weeks, but we're going to give you some more knowledge of what you actually need to understand when it comes to informational sources for the body. There are many, but we have to realize, based on the words, right, of how we look at certain things that we use in our everyday life. We have to understand that when it comes towards words, words don't actually explain the actions of what things actually are. So, the conversation, what we'll be speaking about, is informational sources for the body. It would be simply me speaking to you about your everyday use when it comes to food products, right? But understand when it comes to food products, those are informational for the technology of the mind along with the body. When someone say to you, I am eating food, right, that actually doesn't explain the action behind what that is. So when I tell you it's actually information, right, then you ask the question, what type of information is within it? And that's the question that you should be asking yourself. In order to get that answer, right, we should analyze, as we say we read things, right? We should analyze and record the data of what we are viewing, right? The reason why I say that is because of this. When we say we are reading something, it doesn't explain the action of what we are actually reading. The word reading just gives you a simple word of read. That's it. But when I explain to you, hey, your eyes are actually analyzing and recording the data of what you are viewing. What are you are viewing? The ingredients, okay? But at the same time, the word ingredients does not explain what it actually is. Because the word ingredients means that it's nothing more than information. Ingredients, information. Then you understand like, okay, so ingredients are actually information, right? So when you understand with yourself that everything that we use, right, comes down to information, and then you understand with self that the technology of the body along with the technology of the mind is all technology, all right? And your technology integrates with different technologies. This would be the hardware, right? But when it comes to you eating, right, that would be the software. So it's just like this, as simple. If I said to you, right, you have a computer, right? If you put this hard drive, right, that has information, inflammation, right, that leads your computer into a mindset, right, where it has a virus on it, you would say no. And I will agree with you. Let's not put that in actually the hardware, the technology of your computer or laptop. Let's not do that. So it's the same mindset with the technology of this body, along with the technology of the mind. You have to think like that. Just as much as you, how can I say in simple terms, we all buy antivirus for our Apple iPhones, our Android phones, and laptops. But that same mindset has to be applied to itself. It is a great mindset to buy products that are actually recommended based on what type of technology you use. A lot of people like to use Apple iPhones, so they will actually subscribe to Apple Care. Now think about that. Think about that. Think about the beauty of that. Someone has an Apple iPhone and they have Apple Care. You have to apply that same type of mindset to yourself. You're technically the apple that needs the care. So always realize with yourself when you go out and buy certain products as certain phones, right? And when we buy certain things that protect those phones, that same mindset needs to be applied to yourself. You already have the mindset, but you just do it with your other electronic devices. I am not here to judge you. I just want you to navigate in a better way of what you're already doing. And some of us don't even realize the things that we are doing is actually upgrades only if we apply those upgrades to the technology of our mind. And what do I simply mean by an upgrade? We have been taught that, unfortunately, that we just have a mind. But we have to understand what is the action behind the mind. Because the action explains what the mind is. We have to understand with our bodies, right? We have been taught to just tell ourselves that we just have a body. But at the same time, you have to look at it like this. This body right here carry forms of what? Water. So let's just look at it like this. The technology of the body is a body of water. But understand, when it comes to water, right, when you put it inside of a cup, right, it is only one compound of something, okay? Then after that, you may add in, let's say, coffee. Do you understand that when you fuse water and coffee together, right, it's as in the water is encapsulating the coffee to bring it as one. Understand? So when it comes to water, understand that water is a compound of information that encapsulate other information, like a coffee bean. It brings it together. That way you can now drink that information in order for the mind to now activate, where when you drink coffee, you say to yourself, I have a little bit more energy than what I had earlier. Understand that. But you have to understand when it comes to water, water is an informational source for the body. But you have to also understand as well that the water, your body of water, encapsulate information. So let's just look at ourselves and what we do. And I am not judging you. I'm only here to inform you. That's it. I just want you to be aware. Sometimes when we do things, we may not be paying attention to our actions. And sometimes actions with myself, if I'm not paying attention, it leads into something that I wasn't thinking about. But this is what I would say. At least you know now. In order to change the actions of what you are doing in your everyday life. That's it. It's just awareness. That's it. Now look at it like this. The body, right, is technology, a body of water. But understand that water encapsulates information. Now understand, when I say that food is an informational source for the technology of the body and the mind, understand what type of information is your body of water encapsulating. When I say encapsulating, as in join as one, understand? Because understand like this, when you have an iPhone or Android device or an iPhone, you have a setting that you can go to that is called Bluetooth connection, where two devices link in with each other, and what happens? They share data, information. It's just as much as when you link, right, your phone along with the technology of your, how can I say, headphones. You have to go to where? The settings. You have to hit what? Bluetooth. And then you link in these two technologies, the phone and the headset, together in order to bring the music or the vibration or the frequency of what you are listening to. You understand? It's the same way with you, but you have to understand in a higher form of what you are. We have to understand with ourselves that technology go through technology upgrades, right? And you have to understand with yourself that you allow your Apple iPhones, you allow your Androids to go through a technology upgrade. Now understand that when I say technology upgrade, what am I referring to? As in this, the mind, right, has a process of receiving information, right? Look at it like this. If you wanted your phone or Apple iPhone to go through a technology upgrade, what type of information would you give the Apple iPhone? Would you give it berries? You would say no. So what you would have to give it? More apples, based on it being what? An Apple iPhone. So it belongs to where? The apple tree. Okay. Now understand that apples have vitamins and minerals. Understand that the technology of your suit, right, has a vitamin code and a mineral code system. So think about it with yourself. When you get that Apple eye care, right, the Apple eye care for yourself is that you want to apply that information of that apple, right, and integrate it with the technology of what? The vessel. When I mean integrated, as in when you eat the information, that information is going down to your stomach. But understand this. We have been explained that it was a stomach. That's what we have been taught. But the stomach is not just one word. Let's get into the action. Now, when you pay attention to the action of the technology of a stomach, right, you understand that the action behind the word leads you into, okay, if I just ate information is now going down to my so-called stomach. Would the stomach now be an information processor based on the information that you intook? Understand that the stomach, right, has to now process that information. So the action of what the stomach would be an information processor, an information receiver. When I say information receiver, as in the information that you just ate, the stomach, right, the information receiver just received that information. Now, that stomach now has to process that information of what you just intook. Right. Now, when that information is being processed, understand that the vitamins and the minerals are going to attach itself to the information that is located in you. What information am I talking about? Your vitamin system and your mineral system. So look at the apple, right? As in the information is identified as the same as you. The apple is no different from you based on the information. The information that is within it identifies with your mineral code system and vitamin code system. So when you implant that information, look at it like, this is apple eye care to myself. There you go. It's the same way. But you have to look at the characteristics of what you do with your Apple iPhones and your Android devices. You have to understand that the characteristics of what you're doing to upgrade it, right, is the same characteristics of eating the technology of the information that is within the Apple in order to apply that software of information to the hardware of the technology of the mind and also to the vessel. You have to understand that. In order to get new actions, in order to get a new reality, you have to understand that the information that this body intakes, right, it has to be the same information within you. We have to come out of the mindset of thinking that we're just eating food. But simple. Is the information of what you're eating that you say is food, is it information for the body or is it inflammation? That is something that you have to ask yourself. Now, what I would simply say to you is this. I'm not here to judge you in your actions. I'm only here to inform you. All right? So based on the information what I displayed to you, right, you could take this information and now apply it to your lifestyle and understand with yourself that you can raise yourself at a higher frequency, a higher vibration, okay, within self first. Everything that you want on the outside, right, has to start within the inside. You're the projector of your own life. No one else is. So take control over you. That's the way you were designed. Unfortunately, we were told lies. But it's our responsibility and our accountability to understand that ourselves, that we have to identify the lies that we accepted. We have not to now confront ourselves over the lies that we accepted. And we have to now turn ourselves away from those lies in order to get to the truth. When we don't be accountable, right, and we stay within the lies, guess what happens? We become a lie towards ourselves first. Then we become a lie towards everyone else second. I inform you on this information, not to judge you, but only to inform you and give you a better mindset, okay? In order for us to have a conversation, in order for us to convert the technology of your mind back into the original way of thinking when you first came here. Simple. So with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, and until we will meet again, there will be more information being loaded up on my YouTube page. Also, you can follow me at TikTok as well. Until we meet again, with love, joy, happiness, and understanding of inner self, in order to understand things that are on the outer self of what we naturally project. With that being said, this is your Ancestor General Y God signing over and out. You have yourself a nice one. For more information, check out my video talking about artificial ingredients that refer to artificial intelligence for the mind.